You know, in Matthew 24 and Matthew chapter 7, when Jesus is talking about the days of the tribulation, he said, unless those days have been shortened, no flesh should be saved. He says, but for the elect's sake, he says, those days have been shortened. He says, for in that time, they shall be working great signs and wonders, insomuch that if it were possible, they would deceive the very elect. He said, and unless those days had been shortened, he said, no flesh should be saved. But for the elect's sake, those days have been shortened. And in Matthew 7, he's talking about immediately after those days of the tribulation when he returns. And many are saying to him, Lord, Lord, have we not prophesied in your name, laid hands on the sick in your name, and they healed the sick in your name, and done all these mighty wonderful works in your name, cast out devils in your name? And then Jesus said, I will profess to them, depart from me, I never knew you, you that work lawlessness. I mean, we need to understand what it is that he's talking about, because there's going to be many that are trying to be justified by the works of the law, who set aside the grace of God. I mean, we need to understand the truth, because look, he healed the lame man by the pool of Bethesda in John chapter 5 on the Sabbath day, which was not lawful for him to do, pick up his bed and walk with it. The Jews got him to set it back down. When Jesus found him later in the temple, he said, look, you're made whole of your plague. He said, go and sin no more, lest a worse thing come upon you. I mean, because we need to see Jesus as that prophet like unto Moses. It wasn't Jesus' words he was obeying. It was God's words. It was the righteousness of God through the faith of Jesus Christ. I mean, we need to understand, because there's a lot of deceived people. They're either running after a Trinity or trying to be justified by works and observing the law. And, you know, it's like Paul said in 1 Corinthians chapter 13, or 2 Corinthians chapter 13, verse 7 and 8. We don't do what's right to appear approved, for we have no power over the truth, but for the truth. Because in water baptism, we were born of that incorruptible seed, the second man, the last Adam.